What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here. So, about a month ago, I did a review on the beta version of a game called Marvel Heroes. And at the time, this game was really pretty sad. But I held back a little bit because it's a beta, right? And you don't want to just trash the beta straight out because there's a chance that they might actually fix a few things and make it a little better when it finally arrives, a month later or 2 months later or whenever it's coming out. So I'm always very understanding about things that I see in betas. So the game finally came out a couple days ago. Now, in my beta, I expressed some serious concerns about this game and about how unfun it was. And I received a lot of comments about, well, you got to get past level 1. You only played for like an hour or two, and if you played a little bit longer, it gets a lot better. And I thought to myself, maybe they're right. Maybe if I play this thing a little bit more, then it picks up. Or it starts to make a little bit more sense. So it came out a couple days ago, the full version, and I downloaded it again. Right? Straight from scratch. And I started playing. This thing is 11.7 gigs, just in case you're curious and decide that you want to try it out yourself. That's how much space it's going to take on your hard drive. I played this game for 7 hours. I played this game for 6 hours, really. The 7th hour is more me just kind of trying to do a review, and then that didn't work out. And I got to level 22 on my character. I made it all the way to chapter 4. And that is where I will end, because I will not play another minute of this game. This game is not a game, all right? And I want to be clear about what I mean by that. The definition of a game is any sport or any activity where you're competing against others based on a certain set of rules, all right? And that the game is decided by skill or luck or strength. That is what a game is, by definition. And this is none of those things, all right? This is a non-stop grind fest. This is a constant and just endless supply of creeps who you have to wipe out with your area of effects and your attacks. You just keep killing them over and over again, looking for special things. Now, what are you looking for? Are you looking for loot? The answer is no, okay? You are not looking for loot. In 10 minutes, you can be completely stacked with everything that you're going to need for the rest of the game. Are you looking for credits? No, you're not looking for credits, because you end up, I ended up with like 10,000 credits, and there was nothing to buy. There was nothing to buy. So what is it that you are doing? Well, what you're doing is you're looking for these special tokens, these tokens that drop once in 10,000 creeps or once in a million creeps or whatever their deal is. And these tokens unlock the other characters of the game. This game is all about unlocking all the characters. And that's why it's not a game. It's farming. It is a chore. It is a job. They have given you a job. And the reason why you've accepted the job is because Marvel put their name on it. It's because the people out there who are playing this game love Marvel Comics. And Marvel has hoarded out their collection in order to try to raise just a little bit of cash based on the love of their characters by the people who are playing this game. And I'm going to give you an example of how this works, okay? In the game, to unlock Spider-Man, if you didn't want to actually wait and hope and pray that Spider-Man will somehow unlock mystically during the course of your millions of creeps that you're killing, okay? And I want to be clear here. That's not parabola. That's actually what happens. You go into the game, you start the game, you go into the area, and it's just creep after creep after creep. If you stay in one area and you don't move, the creeps will spawn around you and force you to kill them some more. So it's not like in any other game where, like the creeps in that area, they won't aggro you or they won't spawn until you leave. They'll spawn. And you just have to keep killing them over and over again with your area of effects and, and your regular attacks. It's insanity, okay? It's just a constant constant grind. And every now and then it's walk, 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 kill your creeps, walk, 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 kill your creeps. Every now and then you get a couple people out in front of you, and then it's just walk, 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 walk. These levels are perfectly square, all right? Almost all of them. When you get to areas where there are boss men, those levels have just the tiniest bit of creativity to them, but not much. All the levels are just squares, gigantic squares, and they have like crates or buildings or whatever is in there to break up and make it seem like it's not a square, except it's obvious that it's square. There are levels like level 1, which is Hell's Kitchen, which is based on an actual physical location here in the world. I have been there. It's in New York City. It runs from 30th Street to 50th Street, from the river to 7th Avenue, and that's it. It's actually a place, and there's cafes and all kinds of stuff. Part of it is 42nd Street, which is where all of the Broadway musicals are done. You know, there's actually theaters. Real things are there. None of that is in the game. It is just a gigantic square of brick front houses that have nothing to do with anything. And none of it makes any sense. With streets so wide, because their game mechanic is that the entire thing is based on an isometric view. So you can't have narrow streets with isometric views, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see anything. So you have to have these super wide, humongous boulevards. So they're not even roads, they're just like big gaping areas where these random concrete buildings are just standing. None of it makes any sense. And it's not supposed to make any sense because it's not a game. There is no story, okay? There are cutscenes. There are cutscenes where you can see various little mini-movies that loosely pull together why it is that you're running into certain boss men at the end of certain levels. But in no way does that constitute a story. In no way are you part of the story. You are not an active participant in anything. And the cutscenes revolve around people like Spider-Man and Iron Man and things like this who are part of this group who are going around and they're trying to solve a crime. But you're not in on that. You're not in on that at all. So none of this is game related. It is not a game. It is a chore. It is a work. It is a job. And your job is to try to unlock these other characters. Now, why would somebody create something like this? Why would Gazillion spend all this time and money to produce a game that you can play for free, that you can just farm all day long? And the answer is to sell DLC. They want you to buy the special tokens that are in the game so that you don't have to farm for hundreds of hours. You can just buy the character that you want at $20 or $10 or whatever their deal is. And let me explain to you what their deal is. Right now on Steam, you can buy a DLC pack, okay? It's called the Buy Marvel Heroes Avengers Assemble Pack. You get 4 heroes, okay? You get Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Miss Marvel. Now, I've actually heard of some of these people. I'm not a comic book guy, but I've heard of some of these people. So I get what they're doing here. They have 3 of the 4 most recently released movies. They're all in this pack. The cost for this DLC is $84. $84.99. Now, I want you to think about every game on the market that's $84.99. And you can't think of one because there is no game on the market that's $84.99. AAA titles, the best of the best. Games from the biggest publishers that you've ever heard of. They stop at $79.99. $84.99 would make this, if you bought this DLC, the most expensive game on the market. And is this the only DLC that you can buy? The answer is no. If you want, you can also get the X-Force pack, which has 4 characters, and you can get the you can get the Marvel Heroes Knights pack for $79.99. Total, all 3 packs, you can buy them for $249.97. This is just outrageous. And it's all about trying to prey upon the people who love Marvel Comics. They've allowed their name to be used by this company because clearly they're getting a cut of all this. And that's what it's all about. It's about money. They want you to spend money on something that you love, and they've given you this game to force you to do that. And that is despicable. So I am openly condemning Marvel Heroes, and I know that I'm probably going to receive a lot of flack. based on this, but I want you to know that I put in the time that it took to come to this opinion. All right, I have played this game deep into it, and it is not worth it. It most certainly is not worth it, and I would encourage all of you to avoid this game. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening to this rant. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.